Alright, clan collection continues. Reverse units showing up on streams for some reason. Card of the days are not reverse units. But anyway, let's begin. So first off, let's start off with a card on the Thursday stream that I didn't go over. Dark Dimensional Robo, Reverse Daiyusha. Grade 3, 13 power, force, and skills. Auto hand. At the end of the battle where your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Dimensional Robo attacks, if all units that attack this turn were Dimensional Robo, cost counterblast 1, ride this card from your hand as stand. Then this card loses drive -1 to the end turn and you cannot ride by card abilities for the rest of the turn. Keep in mind about this skill, it's not restricted with your opponent being grade 3, and also it's not restricted like Great Daiyusha is. You can literally superior ride this on your first grade 3 turn. And with some other support cards, it is possible to just get 5 attacks on your very first grade 3 turn. And even on your second grade 3 turn, you can superior ride Great Daiyusha on top of this, and then superior ride this on top of the Great Daiyusha, giving you 3 Vanguard attacks in a turn. Oh, and don't forget some of the rearguard support that can also give you extra multi-attack. Lots of combos here just with this first skill. But second skill, Act Vanguard. Once per turn, costs lock 2 Dimensional Robo rearguards, choose one of your opponent's Vanguards, and it gets minus 10k power to the turn. This is just old Reverse Daiyusha, just added for the V version. Yeah, this is just crazy for Dimensional Robo. The shrink down power can be insane considering that you're going to do big attacks, and this card also has a superior ride skill. Combine that with Great Daiyusha will give you a lot of extra attacks. And more power on top of that. Oh, and don't forget Kaiser. You can ride Kaiser and superior ride this on top of the Kaiser. And now to the new Regalia cards, which for some reason we did not get Minerva. Our first card is Orden Owl. Grade 1 AK burn skills. Auto when rode upon, you may call this to rearguard. Just some standard grade 1s. Second skill, auto rearguard. At the end battle that this unit boosts a Regalia unit, you can put this to soul to draw a card. What's nice is that it still goes to soul, and you get a draw out of it, which in many ways is just a plus. Next, Regalia of Val, Rurujisa. Grade 2, tank power and skills. Auto, when placed on Vanguard, cost counterblast 1, look at top 5 cards of your deck, choose one card from among them and call it to rearguard. And then of course shuffle your deck, and then if the card was a Regalia unit, choose one of your rearguards and then put it to soul face down as equip gauge for that rearguard. It's a +1, it's just too bad it's Vanguard only. But second skill, auto when placed on rearguard, choose 2 cards with Regalia and their names from your drop zone and put them to soul. That's pretty good, especially you get choice soul charging, and of course, any type of choice soul charging will always be good. Still bitter that we don't have Minerva, but we got Beloved Regalia Freak. Grade 3, 30 power, force, and skills. Count Vanguard. All your rearguards with divine equip gauges cannot leave your rearguards by your opponent's card abilities, and they get plus 5k power on both players' turns. That's pretty good protection right there. Second skill, Act Vanguard. Once per turn, cost counterblast 1, look at top 5 cards of the deck, choose one card from among them, and call it to rearguard. And then of course shuffle your deck. If you call it a Regalia card, choose up to 2 of your rearguards, and then put it to your soul face down as equip gauge for that unit. That's fine, of course, it's a +1, and it can also generate your divine gauges. But anyway, third skill, Auto Vanguard. At the beginning of your turn, if your opponent's damage zone is 4 or less, cost discard 5 divine gauges, and then choose one of your opponent's Vanguards and deal 1 damage. It's a decent card to sit on, it protects your rear guards, it could also deal your opponents 1 damage indirectly, which will also mean that it could be a finisher in some cases. It doesn't generate the most value, but for Regalia, this is actually not too bad, and Regalia kind of needs a little more cards for an actual pure archetype. Next, for Nova Grappler, we don't have Immortal Asura Kaiser, we got War Deity Asura Kaiser, which is a grade 3, 12k power, excel, and the skill is Act Hand. If your Vanguard is Asura Kaiser, cost counterblast 1, ride this card as stand. This is kind of important because this is speeding up 1 turn early, and you do want the Asura Kaiser in soul. And obviously, you don't want to stay on Asura Kaiser. And because this is excel marker generation. But anyway, second skill, Act Vanguard. Once per turn, if your Asura Kaiser is in your soul, cost soul blast 1, look at top 3 cards of deck, choose a card from among them and put it to the top, discard the rest. This will combo with third skill because Auto Vanguard. Once per turn at the end of battle that your drive check reveals a grade 2 or greater card, choose one of your rear guards and stand it. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, cost counterblast 1 and stand all your rear guards. This is just basically mass multi-attacking with some luck in it. A little consistent with the second skill, then you stack the top cards of your deck, and it's nice that you could also stack a trigger on top if you don't get what you want. And it's also nice that the restanding of a rear guard is free, but if you want to stand everything, it costs you 1 counterblast, which is actually not bad in value. So I have to say this is a pretty decent budget deck option. And then to a Grand Blue unit that is not a boss unit, King Serpent, grade 2, 8k power and skillless. Auto, when placed on rearguard by card ability, soul charge 1, and then this card gets plus 10k power to the end turn. Not bad, and especially you're going to put this in your drop zone and you can just spam call this as an 18k beater with a soul charge, and Grand Blue does use quite a bit of soul. Second skill, auto, when retired from rearguard by card ability, if your damage zone has no face-up cards, counter charge 1. And it's a counter charge engine. The only thing is, Grand Blue does lack ways on retiring their own rearguard sometimes by their card abilities, but this is an okay skill. Overall, it is a pretty decent card to just always resurrect for a free soul charge and an 18k beater. The only thing is, I might still prefer Skull Dragon because that one is a huge big beat stick. And now to the Tuesday stream, we got Amon cards. Our first card is Amon's Follower Atrocious Blow. Grade 1, 8k power and skillless. Auto, when placed on Vanguard, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 3 Amon card from among them, and add it to your hand. And of course shuffle your deck. Typical grade 1 where you ride just to get something. But the second skill, Act Rearguard, costs rest this unit, soul charge 1, choose one of your Amon units, and until the end of the turn it gets plus 1k power for each card in soul. A free soul charge and can mass power up an Amon. Now Amon in V doesn't focus on building up so much soul, usually it's just 6. But this is Dark Irregulars you're talking about, so you can still build up that much soul. At least this card does not rely on your opponent. Next, Amon's Follower Soul Sucker. Grade 2, 9k power and skillless. Auto, when rode upon by Amon, soul charge 3. Free soul charging. Second skill, auto rearguard. When this card attacks, costs counterblast 1, soul charge 1, and then this card gets plus 5k power until the end of that battle. And then at the end of the battle, if your Vanguard is Amon, and you have 6 or more cards in soul cost, put this to soul draw a card. That 6 or more part is not even hard, considering that this is Dark Irregular we're talking about, and if you did ride this and rode the grade 3 on top of this, you're kinda already guaranteed the 6 soul. Although you might still need to worry about the deck out though. And now time to reverse Amon, the Christmas tree. Demon World Marquise, Amon leave us! Grade 3, 12k power, protect, and skills. Act Vanguard, once per turn, costs lock 2 rearguards, and then until the end of turn, this card gets plus 2k power for each card in soul. And then if its power is 40k or greater, crit plus 1 to end turn. Why is the new Amon wave support not focusing on your opponent's soul? The first wave focuses on manipulating your opponent's soul, but the second wave just focuses on your own soul. I mean, it's not bad or anything, but it's not really the theme of the Amon deck for V. And this is still Dark Irregular, so we could still build up the soul with no problem, but wasn't Amon's playstyle supposed to manipulate your opponent's soul as well? And the second skill doesn't focus on your opponent's soul either, because the second skill is Act Vanguard. Once per turn, cost counterblast 1, choose 2 Amons from your soul and call them to rearguard. At the end of that turn, put those units back to soul. I mean, it's practically a +2 for a turn, and technically you can make it free by counterblasting 1 to call 2 Almons, and then just use the first skill to lock the 2 rear guards, lock them at the end of the turn so they don't go back to soul, or you can always just call those cards that can put themselves back to soul to get you some extra pluses as well. I mean, it's a pretty decent big beefy beater, and it's practically free. I just kind of find it weird that it doesn't focus on the first wave's Amon style where it manipulates your opponent's soul. Sure, it's not really consistent and your opponent can decide on things, but I rather just fit with the theme, but overall pretty decent. And then next week we got Bermuda Triangle. So that's it for these reveals. What do you guys think about these cards for Clan Collection? Regalia, I was a little disappointed that we didn't get Minerva. Surprised that we didn't get Immortal Asura Kaiser. Reverse Daiyusha is kinda crazy, and Amon Reverse with this wave of Amon, it's a little weird that it doesn't focus on the same playstyle as the first wave, but still pretty decent. But on that, that's it for this, and see you all next time.